I'm Cedric Mitchell. I'm a Los Angeles-based glass artist. I think, as an artist, it's just, you have to, one, believe in yourself. And then, I spent a lot of time with perpetual practice. I come from a production background. A lot of my influences come from Editorial Sotsas and the Memphis Design Group, Nickelodeon, so like childhood cartoons and like old school 90s and 80s toys that came from that era. And then also playground equipment, incorporate bright and vibrant colors and, with a mixture of like these black and white stripes and these crazy like busy patterns. Glass was like a wide open lane. Like when I first started blowing glass, just doing research on like famous black glass artists and realizing that there weren't very many of those people. So like my search results generated like Deborah Moore, Thurman Statham, and Shay Rhodes. Those are like my 3 reference points. And then just realizing that needs to change. So instead of like looking into them, it's just like becoming one myself. I was like, so it's like a beam. Like I usually like make these really tight, crisp forms and things like that. But I started talking about this thing called the modern funk aesthetic. And then I started looking at my stuff, my work, and it's like, it's not funky enough, So like making it a little more funky, like adding like this crazy wild pattern and like some softer type shapes where it's not super crispy and then maybe off center a little bit. And then some elements are still like straight, like it's straight here and straight here, but it's like a little funky in there. And then you're still using like those traditional techniques like Marini and cane, and then the Encamo technique, but then like trying to make it mine. Yeah.
In the background, the true background, is that cane or is that opaque?
It'll be opaque, so like opaque color. So the first one I think type effect. And then also like planning to like how can these vessels or these patterns that I'm creating with traditional techniques also roll over into like fashion. Fashion also plays a role. As me being like a former musician or a rapper, so like being highly involved in fashion and staying in tune with those things. And then also like hip hop as well, like the graffiti art. The cheetah print came from like fashion, like back in the 90s and the 80s where that was coming about. And then also like wrestling, so like my favorite wrestlers also had like bright colors like Macho Man and then like Sting. Trying to incorporate some of those things in my work. Everything that we're doing is like experimentation. So we've been just like trying new ideas of like shapes and then just, figuring out what the Marinis are doing. They're like in the spaces where they're hot, where the Marini are, they create like this weird like bubbles and things. So it's a little lumpy, like a tortoise shell, which adds to the funkiness and the irregular shape. And then embracing that, you spend so much time chasing mastery and making these things really nice, and then you hear people say that it's too nice. So there's no uniqueness to it, or it looks like it came from IKEA. So like switching it up and then just generating, a one-time thing. This will not be recreated again. So all the forms that I'm making, I don't plan on making them again.